Hi team, Anna here, makeup creator, teacher, and educator specifically for hooded eyes, oily textured skin, and 30 plus skin. I am a fan of eyeshadow. Like, eyeshadow palettes are my biggest thing in the entire world, and today we're doing the annual eyeshadow palette declutter. Listen, it's much needed. I probably have 200 plus eyeshadow palettes, which is more than one person needs in a lifetime, okay? I admit it, but I'm a collector. I'm a lover of eyeshadow and eyeshadow palettes, especially colorful ones. I am so excited about this. I do need some more space for new things that are going to be entering my collection in 2025. So let's make some space. Let's hold space for the new eyeshadow palettes. Sorry, I had to. Anyways, I'm so pumped for this and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably gonna be a long one. Let's get rid of some palettes. Let's look at my collection. Let's have some fun and let's dive right into it. Let me just show you what we're working with here. This entire drawer set is all eyeshadow palettes. This is other eye stuff, this is face stuff, so we're working on this guy today. There definitely used to be some kind of a system here, like I used to keep my favorite pair of palettes here, then some colorful palettes here, but now it's just a total mess. I feel like everything is falling apart because there's just too many palettes. I have palettes over at my vanity as well. So let's just start with the first drawer and see where we get and then kind of organize these maybe by brand or something. All right, this is our first drawer and I will probably not declutter much from here because we have a lot of luxury brands. Some of my favorite brands like Natasha Denona and McGrath, and you can see Charlotte Tilbury YSL. I'm not decluttering any of that. So most likely I'm not going to declutter much from this drawer, but the lower we get, the more I will declutter. What else I have here is all of the newest launches in this box here, just like the past that I have been actually like using these days, and then some stuff that I haven't tried yet. So we're gonna go through everything right now, starting with just basically what's in front of us. I think this is like the only, well, I think this is the only Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette I have. This is the Pillow Talk Dreams. Huge fan of this guy. Always take it traveling with me because it's so lightweight but so luxurious. Definitely a keep. We got actually some singles here from Dior and Kiko. These are so pretty. I don't know why I got this shade. It's like deep green. I don't really use that much, but this one is so stunning. And then this single from Dior, the one that I showed you, is also incredible. Definitely a keep, but I do have a singles drawer down there, so I'm gonna move these to that one. Okay, Dibs Beauty. I have their other palettes somewhere. Oh, over here, I see it. Dibs Beauty. I have two of their palettes. This one is Peaches in Hand. It's actually super cute, but I do prefer their complexion products over their eyeshadow palettes. I think these are just okay. Nothing super crazy. This is a nice cooler color story though. I will keep them just because I love the brand. I use the brand quite often, and if I do like a full face of Dibs, I would want to have one of these for the video at least. Okay, I'm not decluttering YSL clutches, first of all, because I do actually really love the quality in this. Like this one, this color story is phenomenal. Such beautiful shades. Like this color story is absolutely gorgeous. These shades look amazing and it's definitely a keep. This one a little bit less of my favorite just because the color story is warmer, but these are really spectacular quality and just like a really nice luxury product. I love this brand as well, so I'm keeping these. And of course Dior. This is the only Dior eyeshadow palette that I have as of now. This is like one of their like staples in their collection. I think it's cashmere something or soft cashmere. Also a really gorgeous one. I haven't used it in a while. I need to. I love this one. Now the Give eyeshadow palettes are not necessarily my favorite, and honestly I have not seen a lot from the brand this year. I don't know, like they haven't had any like a bunch of launches. They were doing pretty well last year, but they haven't really been on my radar this year. I don't know why, but I'll hold on to these just in case, you know, I'm doing a full face of Give, and because I really do enjoy the brand a lot. It's just their eyeshadows are not necessarily like my favorite product from the brand. Oh, there's the R.E.M. Beauty palette I was talking about yesterday because I was filming the Wicked collection review and I mentioned this little guy. It's actually a very decent palette. At least these first three shades shades in this dark brown. I do love creating a look with this palette. It's called Midnight Snack. So also a keep. Okay, we got a little trio from Jane Iredale. This is quite warm, but I do want to hold on to this just again because I really love the brand and because why not? It's really cute. And then we have some minis from ABH. Oh my god, I absolutely adore these. We have Sultry. Definitely a keep of all of these. Spice, this is one from a newer launch. Where's my sugar one that goes with this kind of palette? But anyways, I'm gonna keep them together and keep all of the ABH palettes, of course. There she is. This is Sugar, also a keep. Love their format with the 9 panners. We have some of these holiday launches or limited edition launches or whatever these are from Pat McGrath Labs. Definitely not decluttering any of the Pat McGrath Labs palettes. This one I adore, Cool Toned Gorgeousness. This one I believe has purples and blues. I also love a lot. Don't remember what's inside this one. Probably a warm, typical Pat McGrath color story, but still I really do love the formula in these little guys, especially when you can get it with a discount. They do have discounts quite a bit, and I believe these go as low as like $18 if I'm not mistaken. Really, really nice ones. I actually found something I am willing to declutter. This is the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. It's nice, but I don't even know if the brand exists anymore. I don't think so. So I actually don't need to hold on to it. It's a good neutral palette, and I believe my mom has like exactly the same one, and she's used the heck out of that one and she loves it, but definitely not my journey anymore. So this is going to be my first declutter. Let's get through some of these Denona minis. We got the mini Geochrome that I am going to keep. We got the mini, is it Rose that I'm going to keep. I have the mini Pastel that I'm going to keep, and the Bebop palette that is like not a mini but like a micro. I don't even know what this is called, but like one of the 3 panels. This is actually a really nice one for a neutral look, and I don't reach for it anymore, but it used to be like my go-to. I'm gonna keep this. I think I need to let go of this one. This is a very, very beautiful mini gold eyeshadow palette by Natasha Denona, but this shade is broken and I'm just not going to use it. Let's just face it, I'm not going to use it. And if I do my rankings, you know, this is not as important as some of the other palettes, so I'm going to declutter this one. I also have a lot of the midis from Natasha Denona here, and I am planning on filming a rankings of Natasha Denona palettes, I believe tomorrow or something like very soon. I'm going to hold on to these and keep them out of the drawers for the time being, but I'm also not decluttering any of these. This is, oh, I forgot I rearranged this. Oh, you go, Anna. This is the Sunrise eyeshadow palette, one of the first palettes I tried by Natasha Denona. Spectacular warm color story, really beautiful shades, and rearranged it just looks so pleasing. So definitely a keep. What else do we have here that is Natasha? We got her Glam Face eyeshadow palette. These were quite nice. These foiled eyeshadows were really beautiful, and it creates a really beautiful neutral look. Actually, the blush and the highlight were also nice, but because there's so many launches and Natasha herself has come out with a lot of other cheek stuff, I haven't been reaching out for this, but this is a nice one. A keep. And then we have the newer version of what I just showed you basically, but we have a powder bronzer here and a powder blush, and then some eyeshadows as well. The High Glam eyeshadow palette, I did travel with this guy quite a bit in the beginning of this year when it came out, so I do love it. Definitely a keep. We have the Natasha Denona Yucca eyeshadow palette. This was one of my absolute favorites from what she launched last year, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, this color story is so inspiring, colorful, creative, and gorgeous compared with like her launches this year. I hope she comes out with something like this next year. I'm really hoping for that and waiting for that. This was an impeccable, amazing launch for her. A keep. Then we have the Love Face palette, the one that she signed for me when I met her last year. I do love this palette. It's a nice pink palette. This shimmer is very impactful. Again, don't use much of the blush and highlight. I actually should, but yeah, definitely a keep. Then we have the Love Midi eyeshadow palette. This was the one that I grabbed together with the Sunrise palette, and this one is not rearranged, but it still looks really pretty. It creates really gorgeous pink and red looks, but you could go cool tone with purples and silvers. Actually really love this launch from her. It's quite an old palette from like 2019, I believe, but I still love this so much. We have the Retro palette, which is absolutely one of my most used and most favorite palettes from her. Just look at this color story. Cool toned, pinky dusty roses. My favorite shade for the inner corner of them all. Gorgeous textures. Oh, Retro was really that girl for me. We have Xenon eyeshadow palette. Did she come out with it with it this year. No, late last year, because I remember I posted a video on January 1st with this eyeshadow palette. Really interesting, really nice. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of this one. I should probably play with it a little bit more, at least for the New Year's Eve. And then lastly, in this drawer, we have the Natasha Denona bronze eyeshadow palette, my least favorite of them all, just because I'm not really into these warm tones, but the quality of this is really good. I got it as a gift when I went to an event, so I didn't spend my own money on it, and I wouldn't buy it, but I'm happy I have it in my collection. Since I'm setting aside all of the Natasha Denona palettes, I decided to show you this one from my latest launch boxes. This is her latest launch, the Roxa eyeshadow palette. I found it a little bit boring just because I wanted a more complex color story, or maybe I wanted something more cool tone and it just didn't deliver because we have some warm tones here. Quality is great, but the color story did not wow me, so I didn't use this as much, but of course it is still a keep. I just grabbed the rest of the Natasha Denona palettes in my collection from my display in the background so that I could show them to you and then set aside for that rankings video like I told you, and then we will move on to the rest of the drawer. We have the Natasha Denona golden eyeshadow palette that came out this year, and out of everything she came out this year, this was my favorite, even though it's kind of boring, but it was a decent launch from her. We have the My Dream eyeshadow palette that is, I believe to this day, my favorite midi sized eyeshadow palette by Natasha Denona, but check back to see the rankings if maybe I change my mind. I just love this Chrome. I love that we have purples here. We have cool neutrals, we have warm neutrals, we have gold, and we have just like really deep black and brown. This is just like something that I would create if I were to create a color story. Then we have the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette that wowed me and literally blew me away last year. Absolutely love this color story. Cool tone, neutral, but like not boring at the same time. This shimmers, you can see how well used these are, even though it's only been in my collection for a little over a year. And then we have I Need a Warm, the one that I don't like as much. Honestly, this is a decent launch from her and a decent palette. It has a really beautiful Chrome, that shade right here, Phenomena, and really nice neutral shades as well. So it's not like too warm. It's not like the bronze palette type of warm, so I don't mind this. I just haven't used it a lot. Then we have the Retro Glam eyeshadow palette that she came out with several years ago for Christmas, and I just don't see Christmas here. I see spring. I still do. I think it's a very unique and interesting color story, so I don't mind this palette. The shimmers here, like this one and this one, are also really impactful, and I just don't have a lot of really muted like pinks and greens, so I don't mind this palette. I actually love this a lot. And then we have two larger palettes that I bought one of the Black Fridays because it was like 2 for 1 or something crazy like that. This is also nicely rearranged. This is the Chrome eyeshadow palette. I actually adore this palette, but not because of the Chromes. These are quite boring because indie brands create much better and more impactful Chromes, and this was her first try at Chromes. The ones that we have in the I Need a Warm palette and My Dream palette are way better. What I love this palette is for very unique matte shades. There's no other palette where I actually have these quite purples or oranges or greens like these. Super unique, super beautiful. Actually, every time I look at this palette, I really want to use it. And then we have the Circo Loco eyeshadow palette, which is another colorful and creative palette from her, also rearranged by me. I love how I rearranged this, kind of like column by column. Super beautiful shades as well. I used this one quite a bit, and then maybe some of the shimmers. Oh, this is what makeup used to be. Come on, brands. Oh, let's bring color back into our lives. I love this. So that is all I believe for Natasha Denona, until like an occasional new palette or something like that. But let me set this aside and then we'll get through the rest of this drawer. We got an eyeshadow palette from Fantasy Cosmetica called Fighter. I think I broke a shade here. Yeah, this one. I dropped it, but it's so beautiful and so unique that I didn't declutter it, and I'm not going to. I just need to be careful with it. But definitely a keep. Ilia. This is a nice neutral eyeshadow palette that I haven't gotten around to using just because I have so much stuff to test out. It's been in my collection for years at this point, but I still haven't used it. I need to. I'm gonna set this aside as well. Then we have this guy from Pat McGrath. I believe this came out this year. It's a little quad, nothing too crazy. I think 1 or 2 shades are quite interesting, but other than that, it's just another Pat McGrath palette at this point. Then we have the Mario Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes, the original one. Very well used and loved and traveled with. I adore this palette. It was my favorite and most used before his new launch, which is right here. So I'm gonna keep them together. Maybe I'm actually gonna show you Maybe I'm actually going to show them side by side. Oh, this is the new one, Moonlight, and this is the original one, Ethereal Eyes. Very different. Oh, they're magnetic. Very different, yet so alike. And oh my god, I just absolutely love both of these. This one is definitely my favorite, but I'm keeping both. Such great launches from the brand. At this point, I'm showing you all of the new launches, all of my Natasha Denona palettes. So obviously none of this is going to fit into that one drawer, but we're going to figure something out. We have this palette from Flower Nose. I used it in a recent, I did not, I used another palette in a recent look. How gorgeous are these palettes? Unreal. The quality of their shadows is also really good, pigmented and easy to blend. Then we have the newest palette from Huda Beauty. Obsessed. Cannot put this down. Literally use it all the freaking time. So good. Then we have the Pat McGrath holiday launch. I picked up the biggest eyeshadow palette like I always do every single year, and I actually was really pleased with this one. Yes, the mattes are kind of boring, but the shimmers were super impactful and beautiful. Just a really decent palette from the brand in my humble opinion. Okay, we got several palettes from What's Up Beauty. I actually love their eyeshadow palettes. We have the Desert Monsoon, my least used one. Then we have, oh god, I don't know the name of this. I'm sorry, but this is so pretty. And my favorite is the Dragon Eye eyeshadow palette. I just think the shimmers are really impeccable quality. The shifts in them are so gorgeous, and the mattes are really unique, blendable, and beautiful. This is a very amazing brand. They have amazing cheek stuff and lip stuff and eye stuff, and they're made in Italy, and their quality is just like out of this world. I also love their brushes, so yeah, I'm definitely keeping all of these. Then we have, oh my god, I actually decluttered both of these Lime Crime eyeshadow palettes a year ago. I did, and today I decided that because the brand is discontinued and they're not selling their eyeshadow palettes or their makeup anymore, I'm like, I just want to keep these as a memory, I guess. I loved these. They're good quality. I don't know what anyone says about this brand. Like, I don't care about the drama. The eyeshadow quality was good, okay? So I'm going to keep these. Never use them because they're like 100,000 years old, but I'm going to keep these as a memory. Okay, we have another eyeshadow palette that is kind of like very well used and loved by me. Glaminatrix Cosmetics Sugar and Spice palette. You can see how shifty that shade is. All of these are so gorgeous. I think the color story is pure genius. Cool tones, very light mattes, black, matte colors, pastels, purple, beautiful shimmers. Like, these shimmers are insane. Anytime I wear this eyeshadow palette, people always compliment me. So yeah, I travel with this one a lot. Not getting rid of this, one of my favorite palettes, and such a good one. Then we have Kat Kim Cosmetics. I have not used this guy in a hot minute. It's a Chinese brand, I believe, but they have like, their shimmers are Makeup by Mario shimmer dupes and like Space Cowboy from Urban Decay dupes. They're really good quality, so I'm keeping this because I really enjoy the quality on this. Not sure if I'm ever gonna use it again, but just in case. And we have the ABH Cosmos. As far as I remember, I dropped this. Let's see. Yes, I did. And I broke one of the most beautiful shades, but nonetheless, I'm going to keep it because this palette was actually the first one from the new kind of like rebranded ABH launches that inspired me and made me fall in love with the brand again. You know what I mean? Like, this was a really good one. And now anything ABH comes out with, if I don't receive it in PR, I actually buy it. I love their stuff. Then we have the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2. You guys, I've seen all of the videos about the mold and eyeshadow palettes, and I stopped using it because I got spooked. Like, I don't even know if I have mold or if that was even mold on the videos, but I'm just like a very trusting and scared type of a person. So it's a beautiful palette. I loved using it, loved it. But now I'm spooked. I don't know. Let me know what you think about it. Do you have this? Is it mold? Like, do we need to be careful? I don't know. I'm keeping this either way. Then we have, one of the Oden's Eyes eyeshadow palettes here. This was a beautiful, stunning collection. The last collection I bought from them, that was like years ago at this point. Jewels and Gem, and then they had Stone and Rock, the other one. Oh my god, I use this so much. This is a good color story. This is what a good color story eyeshadow palette quality is for me. I hope we as a makeup community are moving towards something like this and not just no eye makeup or brown eyeshadows. Like, this makes me so inspired. The quality is insane. The looks you could come out with just these 15 shades Oh my god, love Odin's Eye, definitely a keep. I'm gonna set it aside because I have more from them and I want them to be together in the same drawer. And we have 3 palettes from Nomad Cosmetics, all of which I have tried in the past couple months because this is a new brand on my radar. The Chicago Speakeasy eyeshadow palette, insane. So in love with the quality and color stories. OMG. Polar Express, their Christmas palette. Oh my god, you're coming to the Christmas vacation with me. You're definitely going. And then we got the Fuji 5 Lakes eyeshadow palette. This one is also super fun. I actually have not had the chance to play with it. I think come spring I will use this one, but for now I will put it aside with my unused eyeshadow palettes because here they are, all of my unused new eyeshadow palettes to try. We have Kaleidos Cosmetics, 2 palettes by them. Are you actually kidding me with this color story? Insane. I love their palettes. I've tried 1 or 2, but then again, they sent me a bunch, so I'm gonna set this aside. This is my to try pile. And then this palette by Natasha Denona is called Rose and Wood or Rosewood eyeshadow palette. It came in a recent Ipsy box, and I don't think this is for sale, but one of my followers over on Instagram let me know that next year possibly the brand is coming out with a midi version of this, so a midi rosewood eyeshadow palette. Looking at this, I think I'm gonna enjoy that palette. This is definitely right up my alley. I love pinky colors, sure, I love cool tones, browns, all of that, so I'm gonna try this out and wait for a midi version of this to come out. Oh, we have the Wicked eyeshadow palette that I tried and used just yesterday, and it's already probably uploaded on my YouTube channel. Great quality. I was not expecting this. It's kind of bulky, but like you also buy this collection for the packaging and the vibes. Unreal palette. If I saw this at the store and like I wasn't a Wicked fan, which I'm not, I wouldn't buy it. So if you are like me and you wouldn't buy it, consider getting it. The quality is amazing. Amazing. Just so good. And then the last palette that I haven't tried out yet, but I will, is by Kylie Cosmetics. They sent over this was my first PR package from Kylie Cosmetics. I was so excited. The Smoky eyeshadow palette. Cool tones. Cool Tone Dream. So good. I actually already am planning on creating a smoky eye with this one. So yeah, this is going to be my to try palette. I guess this is not in a to try palette anymore because I already tried it, but all of these are, and we're done with this drawer. Yay! We officially decluttered 2 eyeshadow palettes from the first drawer, which is great work because I was not expecting this at all. Let's move on to drawer number 2. Okay, so this is what I meant when I said that the second drawer, all of the rest of the drawers are going to be much smaller because this is everything we had there. And I already see something that I am going to declutter. So let's get started with the first palette. This is the Kylie Cosmetics Mauve eyeshadow palette. I got it at an airport in one of their like Kylie vending machines, and I loved the quality on this. I honestly did it just for funsies, but I ended up absolutely loving this palette. So definitely a keep. Ooh, Huda Beauty Wild Jaguar Obsessions. Remember when she did these? Oh, they were so good. Her Little Obsession palettes. This one was so ahead of its time. This is a cool tone color story that is so in right now, but it came out like 3 or 4 years ago. Obsessed. Definitely a key. We have the Geology Cosmetics Wheat Belt eyeshadow palette, which honestly I haven't been using a lot, and the color story is fun, but I do prefer more impactful shimmers and just more interesting shimmers. So I think that I'm going to declutter this baby and see if I can find somebody who's going to enjoy this one a little bit more. We have the Florasis eyeshadow palette. It is another brand like Flower Knows that is a Chinese Asian brand, and they have really beautiful products. The quality on this is also super nice. I really love it and am going to keep it. Then we have that other Odin's Eye palette that I was talking about, Stone and Rock. So this one is more on the green khaki kind of side. Absolutely love the two, so I'm gonna keep them together. We have the Too Faced eyeshadow palette that, oh my god, I've had for so many years, but this is such a perfect bridal eyeshadow palette, and I just love the layout of this. It's a perfect neutral palette, leans a little bit warm, and you know the quality is not, you know, Natasha Denona, but I still love it, so I'm gonna keep this one. We have another Odin's Eye eyeshadow palette. I love the brand. I haven't been picking up much from them just because it's kind of feels like they're coming out with more of the same. I don't know why. I wasn't inspired by their Christmas collection or the one that came out before that, but I did used to buy all of their stuff. So this is kind of like a rainbow palette from them that I absolutely love, and whenever I travel, like sometimes I just grab a neutral eyeshadow palette and then this eyeshadow palette so that I have a pop of color, and this one has a ton of really nice shade, so definitely a keep. Relaunched Urban Decay Naked eyeshadow palette. So I've never had the original version of this, but I did receive it in PR and it's quite nice. I love the quality on this, and this shade is so impactful and beautiful, and it's cool tone, so definitely a keep. We have the newest like eyeshadow palette, not newest I want to say, but like one of the new eyeshadow palettes from Too Faced. This was their fall launch. It smells like apples, it looks colorful, fall vibes, beautiful. Really enjoyed playing with this. I have a review on this, and actually a lot of palettes that I talked about today, just like dedicated reviews on those palettes. I might leave the video links down below, but this one is a nice one and definitely a keep. I have a palette from Lunar Beauty. A year or two ago, they came out with an advent calendar in a form of an eyeshadow palette. I still to this day think it was an absolute genius idea. Every day you opened up a shade and then put into this magnetic palette the way you want it to look like. The shades were absolutely gorgeous. Again, haven't used this a lot, but the quality is gorgeous, and the whole idea was a lot of fun, so it's definitely a keep. I see a couple of Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes that I'm definitely not getting rid of. I love this eyeshadow palette. This came out for Valentine's one of these years. Iconic Infatuation. Oh my god, cool tone with like a rosy hue. So stunning. A keep. And this came out last year for holidays. Also, absolutely love the color story. This one doesn't only have the eyeshadows, also the blushes. It was recently on sale for like not a lot of money. Really love this palette as well. We have the Sugar Drizzle. God, I don't even know if they come out with makeup. Like, this was a nail polish brand, but they did these crazy impactful creative multi-chrome beautiful sparkling shimmers, and I bought one of their palettes, but they had a ton, and oh my god, I used the heck out of this and I will never get rid of it. There's nothing like these. Such a beautiful palette. There's nothing like indie shimmers. Yeah, I need to check them out if they still are in business. Then we have two palettes from, what is it called? Cosmic Beauty, Cosmic Brushes. Yeah, Cosmic Beauty. They have come out with a ton of palettes since these, but these are the only two I purchased myself from their website. This is a creative color story. This is an inspiring color story. Same as this. Oh my god, just looking at this makes me so emotional, happy, and I want to play with makeup. I need to pick up their latest launch. It's kind of like a neutral with a hint of color, but these are so good. I love these, never getting rid of this. Then we have the Be Perfect Cosmetics, one of their Carnival palettes in collab with Stacey Marie MUA. Oh my god, I love her. I purchased so many of her online courses to learn her style, and I just find her so inspiring, and all of her palettes with Be Perfect are so fun. I own two, so this is actually my favorite one. Oh no, it's not. The other one is my favorite one. But this is, I find this is a perfect color story for the fall. I always want to use it and I always want to travel with it, but it's super bulky to travel with. But oh my god, I should just keep this on my vanity, this one and the other one that I own, and use it. Yes, this is the decision that I just made. Adore the quality in this. So good. Just, you cannot go wrong with these. And then we have the Ace Beauté palette, hopefully eyeshadow palettes. You know what? I haven't heard from Ace Beauté in a long while. I loved this palette. I loved the quality on this, but I just don't think I'm going to use this anymore. I'm gonna declutter this. It was really good for the time being, but Ace Beauté is not on my radar anymore. I haven't seen their launches. I haven't heard from them. So I'm gonna need to declutter this, unfortunately. And then we have the last palette in this drawer. What are you doing here, Colourpop? I have an entire Colourpop drawer coming up. Not a box of chocolate, a really stunning. What a cute color story. What a cute concept, right? It does look like a box of chocolates. Love the quality on this. Just a neutral brown eyeshadow palette. It's definitely a keep, but I will put it in my Colourpop drawer. So that is it for this one. We decluttered 2 eyeshadow palettes. I'm so proud of myself so far. Let's move on to drawer number 3. So for drawer number 3, it looks like a bunch of very random stuff, and I actually found a Natasha Denona palette here. This is a palette that was in a BoxyCharm back 5 years ago when I had a subscription for half a year. Jubilee eyeshadow palette. What I keep this for, let me tell you, I keep this for this matte eyeshadow that is called Vintage Taupe. Really beautiful transition shade. So I'm not gonna get rid of this, but I'm gonna keep it with my Natasha Denona palettes. Ooh, we have another one from Odin's Eye. This was the first eyeshadow palette I bought from them. Oh, exciting. I totally forgot about this one. Oh my god, this is so gorgeous. Morgan Turner, the YouTuber, made me do this because she created the most stunning eyeshadow look with this shade, and you can see how well used it is. I immediately needed that. Honestly, this is still so creative and such a beautiful color story and such a unique color story with beautiful shimmers and multi-chromes, and I just love Odin's Eye. This is definitely a keep. I don't know if they still carry this launch, but I was in love with this color story and I still am, so definitely keeping this one. We have this eyeshadow palette from the brand called Espresso. I honestly never used this much, but I don't want to get rid of it because I do enjoy this brand, even though I haven't tried a bunch of their stuff lately. They're also like a formula made in Italy, which is really good. So the stuff that I've tried, like their tints and their blushes and their bronzers and their lip stuff, was really decent. I just never got into this eyeshadow palette, but I do want to keep it just in case. We have another palette from Urban Decay. This is the Wild Greens eyeshadow palette. I believe it was like my first Urban Decay product that I received in PR from them, and I find it decent. This color story is a little bit lacking, but it's decent, and I really enjoyed playing with it, and I don't want to get rid of it, so that's a keep. Let me get rid of this in case you're spooked. This is by Glamlight. This is their Chucky eyeshadow palette. I bought this myself. I think this is such a beautiful, sultry, dark color story. Oh my god, I miss this. I have not used this a lot, but they came out with this collection on Halloween. No, not Halloween. Valentine's. Was it Valentine's? I think so, like years ago, and I think that was so creative. Definitely a keep. I love burgundies. I love dark smoky. I need to play more with this. Like, I haven't even touched these shades. Who am I? This is so fun. Definitely keeping this. We have Buxom eyeshadow palette. I adore their lip products, but their eyeshadow palettes, their shimmers are really good, but the eyeshadows are kind of powdery and not very pigmented. I will hold on to this, but I think that I'm going to gift it to somebody who will enjoy it more because their formula is just honestly not my favorite, but I think my mom enjoys it, so I'll hold on to this for her. We have a palette from Lamel. I believe this is a Ukrainian based or created brand. Maybe they're more based in UK or something like that. I don't really remember, but this is a decent quality and they have decent products in their collection. I really did enjoy their eyeliners at some point. I just haven't really reached for this, and it's just not like a perfect color story for me, and honestly I don't see myself using this palette. It's really decent quality, so I will again find somebody who will enjoy it more, but for myself, also like the packaging, just wow. For myself, I will declutter this for now, but I will hold on to this for somebody else. We have the Tarte Man Eater eyeshadow palette. I bought this myself. I actually fell in love with this color story. I love large eyeshadow palettes. I know they're not really convenient for like traveling or like holding on or like even storing, you know, like, but they're so fun. I find them kind of boosting my creative juices even. Like, I'm looking at this and I immediately want to create a look with burgundy and mustardy shades, and like these shimmers are so beautiful. This is a neutral color story, but like done right, where it inspires me and you can go so many different ways. So definitely keeping this, and I love Tarte. We have the Afro-Galactic eyeshadow palette from Juvia's Place. This is the only eyeshadow palette I have from them, and I worked on a campaign with them a couple years ago for this palette. What a beautiful palette. You wouldn't even believe duochromes in here. They're so impactful and so beautiful. I haven't used a bunch of colorful shades from here, and it's not necessarily the most like color story that screams to me, but specific duochrome, multichrome shades from here are impeccable, and I just love Juvia's Place, so this is definitely a keep. This is such an old eyeshadow palette. Like, I bought it so long ago, and I don't even think Made by Mitchell come out with eyeshadows anymore, which is honestly a pity, because when I show you this, how fun is it, right? People don't do this type of stuff anymore. So creative, so beautiful, so bright. I claim this energy for 2025. I say we need this. We need color. Oh my god, just looking at this makes me so inspired. I was full on thinking that I'm gonna open this and declutter it. No, I'm keeping this. I love this way too much to declutter it. And then there's this palette. This was a collaboration between Beauty Bay and Nikki Tutorials back in like 2018 or something crazy like that. Guess what? I bought it for $5 on Beauty Bay, and I have never used it or touched it. But I know this is a very beautiful color story. These shimmers are so gorgeous. I need to put it in my to try pile, honestly. I just keep forgetting about it because it's sitting in my drawer. So I'm gonna put it in my to try pile and I will eventually try it. We have another palette from Glamlight, and I also did purchase this myself. I adore this color story. This was actually before Barbie the movie. They were ahead of their time. They always are. What a beautiful, colorful, impactful color story with like Barbie vibes. Am I right? Definitely a keep. I love this. I love Barbie. I was huge on Barbies when I was growing up. Like, they were my everything. I literally have a Barbie standing, sitting on top of my background, like a collectible Barbie from the 90s or 2000s. So yeah, I'm definitely a weirdo. I love Barbies too much, so definitely a keep. Then we have this palette from Pat McGrath. Oh, one of my favorite palettes. Another holiday launch, maybe from 2022 or 2021. I find it so beautiful. Beautiful rainbow palette. I missed this from Pat McGrath, but she did give us something colorful this year, so I'll take that. Really beautiful shimmers as well. You can create a really nice neutral look with this or colorful look, so I really love this palette. I need to use this more as well. So this is definitely a key. Last but not least, so this is what I was talking about. The other Carnival palette from Be Perfect. So this is the first one that I showed you with the fall color story called The Antidote by Stacey Marie MUA. And this is also a collab with Stacey Marie MUA. I believe this was their latest collab that came out in maybe 2021. This is Carnival Interstellar. Oh, the vibes in this palette. Oh my god. When I saw this color story, I was like, there's no way. I find this absolutely genius color story. These shades, you have all kind of shades here. Rainbow, you know, neutral, grays. This like gray side is so stunning. And she created colors that would specifically blend well with all of the rainbow colors. Like these grays are more leaning green, so you could blend them easily into these. These are more leaning blue, so you can blend them easily with these. Like, this is so thought through and such an insanely good color story. I am unwell. Definitely a keep, and I'm keeping both of these to be using more of these because I'm so in love with them and I never have the time to use these. So good. All right, so 2 palettes that I am letting go of from this drawer. So far 6 palettes. I'm doing better than expected, but next drawer is like a drugstore drawer, so I'm expecting to get rid of a little bit more of palettes. Okay, we have this one and then the next drawer, which is as far as I remember, my Colourpop drawer, but this has some affordable stuff and then some other brands and a lot of Moira. Let's start with the Kaleidos. So this is the eyeshadow palette that I have tried and used from them. Really beautiful smoky palette. So gorgeous, definitely a keep. Oh my god, this e.l.f. eyeshadow palette, I believe I bought it for $3. These are, what are they called? Bite-sized e.l.f. bite eyeshadows or something like that. This needs to be decluttered. I love it and I love e.l.f., but like, I don't need this in my life. If I need another one of these, I'll just buy it. For now, I'm gonna declutter it. We have the Revolution and Emily in Paris eyeshadow palette. Also don't need to hold on to this, so this is going to be a declutter. We have Juvia's Place Grays eyeshadow palette. I actually love this color story. This was way before like the cool tones and the gray tones, and I believe this was like the first palette that I got in order to like have the gray eyeshadows because I didn't have them before. I will keep this. Again, I love their quality and I love everything from their brand, so I'm gonna keep this one. We have another really affordable eyeshadow palette by Essence, Dancing Green, and as far as I remember, this is the most like the cheapest eyeshadow palette that I own, so I keep it in order to like, if I ever do a video on like the most affordable items in your collection, I need this palette, so I'm gonna keep it for now. We have another palette from Odin's Eye. This one was gifted to me by Samantha March when I met her this year, so I did not really use this yet, and I believe this is a collab with the Fancy Face, Tina the Fancy Face. I also met her later this year, but yeah, such a beautiful color story. Really unique and gorgeous, and definitely keep it. And also I will put this in my to try pile because whenever I put this in the drawers, I do forget to try out the new palettes, so this is gonna go there. We have a lot of Moira here. I adore Moira. This palette was their latest launch that I got. Pretty Little Thoughts, and I believe I tried it but like maybe once. Honestly, it looks like I haven't, but I did try it once. I remember it. I will keep it in my to try pile as well because I actually think that I need to use this more, and it's a beautiful cool tone color story and I love Moira, so that is also staying on my vanity. We have a ton of stuff from Milani and Moira here. Let's get into it. Okay, a lot of little guys from Moira and Milani here. What a beautiful palette. I think this was collaboration with Rocio and Milani. Oh my god, the gold and the greens. Absolutely, yes. This is a keep. I'm a huge Milani fan. Definitely keeping this one. Then we have these little guys from Moira. Honestly, I don't need all of these, I don't think. I'm gonna hold on to Viva La Rose. I'm gonna declutter Golden Treasure. And I'm gonna hold on to that one because I like Grace. Or do I need to though? Do I need to? I'm gonna declutter Silver Mist. I don't need this one. I'm gonna only hold on to this one for now. We have the Clueless collaboration and Revolution, was it? I think so. Oh, also, actually, really good quality green and gold here. I'm gonna hold on to this because it's just too cute and I love Clueless. We have the Hard Candy eyeshadow palette that they gifted to us when they were here in Chicago for an event a couple years back. I also haven't tried this. These pressed glitters just are not speaking to me at the moment. I will declutter this palette. I think I can find somebody who will enjoy it a little bit more. We have another Clueless palette with Revolution, As If. It is so cute, but I will only keep it because it is a collab with Clueless. I know that I will probably not use it. Unless I'm doing a full face of Revolution, then this will come in handy. Let's talk about Milani. Most likely, I will not get rid of any of this because again, I love... Oh, we have something else from Moira. Actually, I will keep Sugar Delight and I will get rid of the rose one. So yeah, this is a keep. This is a declutter. All right, back to Milani. Oh, I love this palette. I haven't used it a lot. This is their like smoky palette that has face products and eyeshadows. Definitely one of my favorites from Milani. They don't carry it anymore. They should. Bring back Gilded Flora. So beautiful for the spring. The shadows are outstanding. Milani has a really good affordable eyeshadow quality. Do not sleep on them. Keep another one that is literally a dupe for Pat McGrath. I did a video on this like a couple years back where I compared this to the one of Pat McGrath Motherships, and you couldn't tell which side was which. Such a good eyeshadow palette. We have Gilded Terra, which is such a beautiful color story. The greens, the pinks, the golds, definitely a keep. And last one, Milani Luminoso. This is their iconic blush shade name, and they created an entire collection based off of it. This is not my favorite palette by them just because the color story is not very interesting, but I will still keep this one because I love them. Again, let's get through this and then a ton of Moira. We got Lottie London. This is their Totally Mint eyeshadow palette. I don't believe I have any other palettes by them, so I will hold on to this just because I want to have something by the brand because I like the brand. Then we have some of these Milani Gilded Minis, the Rosé All Day, I believe this is called. No, the Wine Down. Well, close enough. Love this. Definitely a keep. And this one, oh my god, so beautiful. This is called something whiskey, right? Yeah, the Old Fashioned. What a beautiful neutral color story. Definitely a keep. This one is by Moira and it's more of a colorful palette. I think I'm gonna keep this just because I love the blues in here and because I already decluttered like a bunch of these, so I'm gonna keep this one as well. Now all of their big palettes, I will definitely get rid of some of these. We have the Fun is in the Air, the Moiraland series palette. These are neons and I don't have a lot of those, so I'm going to keep this guy for now. And then the other palette from the series is this one. Oh, I think it's from other series. Hold on. This is the other from Moiraland series. This one I love even more. It's like a cotton candy dream eyeshadow palette. Moira has one of the best eyeshadow palettes on the entire market, and these cost like $18 or something crazy like that. Like they're very affordable. This palette is so beautiful. Definitely a keep. And then in terms of all of these are the like game series palette. Oh, I cannot get rid of this. Come on, so pretty. Keeping the green one, keeping this one too. I love color. What can I say? I need this in my life. Actually, this one is quite old. I think I can get rid of this one, Among the Wildflowers, even though I adore this shade, but this color story is a little bit outdated in my humble opinion. So I'm gonna declutter this one. And then this is just a really good neutral palette from Moira that I don't know why I hold on to still. I'll declutter this one. It's a good one, but again, I've just had my use of it and I don't need this in my collection anymore. This I will definitely keep. It was the palette that made me honestly fall in love with Moira. Such beautiful shadows, really deep burgundy and brown with a hint of pink and green and other neutrals. So good. We decluttered quite a bit from this drawer. Like I said, the lower we go, the more we declutter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am super proud of myself. Next one, I think mostly is Colourpop, so I'm not sure I'm going to declutter much, but let's see. And that is going to be our last drawer. Yay, we're almost done. All right, let's take a look at the last drawer here. We have a lot of Colourpop, some Morphe, some e.l.f. Cosmetics. I am excited about this one. All right, let's start with Colourpop. I don't think I'm gonna declutter a lot of this because I just honestly love their collabs and their color stories as well. This one is the Mandalorian palette, as well as this one, super cute. I actually really love these color stories as well. A little bit of green, a little bit of cool tones, definitely a keep. We have the Alice in Wonderland eyeshadow palette. That was, I remember, really cute, kind of cotton candy like. Don't think I will necessarily like reach for this anytime soon, but I will still keep this because I love the packaging and I just love their collaborations. Like all of these I will most likely keep. And then we have the Hocus Pocus 2 collab. It came out a couple of Halloweens ago. What a beautiful Halloween color story. Actually reach for this every Halloween, so I will definitely keep this. The High Tide eyeshadow palette. I remember how inspired by this color story I was, and I purchased it myself, and these colors just look so beautiful in my brown eyes, so definitely a keep. We have a completely like unopened palette. That's Taupe, which is like a neutral eyeshadow palette. Definitely keeping this one. So beautiful. A classic if you ask me. I should also put this into my to try pile because I haven't used this as much, honestly. I don't think I've used it ever. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in my to try pile. We have the Harry Potter collaboration, which the palette was not amazing, but it's Harry Potter, so I'm not getting rid of it. I'm a big fan. We have the beautiful Beauty and the Beast eyeshadow palette. I actually really loved this one. The entire collection was so stunning. I love their Disney collabs and just like all of these beautiful collections. Like the packaging just gets me, and you can see I even keep the outer packaging sometimes just because it's too gorgeous. So definitely a keep. Actually, we have a newest gift palette here for some reason. They came out with these palettes this year. Interesting choice. The shimmers are really good. Actually, the mattes are quite decent as well. I'm gonna put it with the other gift palettes, but this wasn't like too much of an inspiring launch for me, but it was pretty decent. And again, I just love their quality. We have the Milani. I believe this relocated itself from the previous store. Milani Most Loved Mattes. One of the really most used Milani eyeshadow palettes. I love these. What a beautiful staple from the brand. We have the Hard Candy Girl Scout Cookies eyeshadow palette. I will actually declutter this one. It's cute, but I'm just not going to use it. We have the Colourpop Going Coconuts, another staple classic from the brand. Definitely a keep. Ooh, this one is cute. Also kept the outer packaging. Actually, I don't need to keep this one. I don't think so. But this is the Welcome Foolish Mortals eyeshadow palette from Haunted Mansion and Colourpop. Also a really inspiring color story. Less so than the Hocus Pocus or like say the Beauty and the Beast, but I really enjoyed this one as well. That's a keep. And of course the Sailor Moon and Colourpop, another cotton candy ethereal eyeshadow palette. Definitely keeping this one. Oh, this is the other Moira eyeshadow palette. This one has neutrals and pinks and purples. This one came out at the same time as the one that I showed you before with neutrals and pops of green. Definitely a keep. These were the my first like introduction to Moira, and I really loved these. We have a Ciate eyeshadow palette, Brazilian Glow eyeshadow palette. I tend to want to keep one palette from each of the brands that I kind of have on my radar. So just like Lottie London, I do want to keep this because, well, honestly, it's a stunning color story, and Ciate is a great brand. I will keep the Colourpop 1111 palette. This one has a cool tone color story, and whenever like I don't want to pack a Makeup by Mario and Natasha Denona with me for travel, just for the safety reasons, just so it doesn't break, I do pack this guy with me because it's a decent cool toned eyeshadow palette. Ooh, we have the Winx collab as well. Oh, I'm gonna keep all of these, aren't I? So pretty. Another rainbow palette, and I just love this. Even though I didn't really watch Winx as a child, I still really enjoy these collabs. Oh, this is my favorite palette by Colourpop, Stone Cold Fox. Definitely my most used and my favorite. Cool toned Dream. Definitely a keep. Adore this palette. Then we have the Pokemon collab. I don't remember what it looks like. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this was actually pretty stunning. The quality on this was really good. I tried a lot of these shades, and definitely keeping this one. Oh, this is one for the books, you guys. Elephant Chipotle collab. Who remembers this? They don't sell it anymore, and I don't use it, but I will definitely keep it for the vibes. Come on, it's Elephant Chipotle. This, oh, I don't know what to do with this palette. I don't want to get rid of it, but I will never use it. But I love it so much. Elf Earth and Ocean palette. I don't know, this just means something to me. It was one of the first palettes I bought when I moved to the States, and I couldn't really afford much and I really wanted a palette that it has inspiring color story. And yes, the quality is not the best, like it's an affordable eyeshadow palette, but it just means so much to me. I'm gonna have to let it go. It was a good one. Okay, we have a palette I created from GAVISSI Beauty. They had single eyeshadows and they're impeccable quality. It is not a cheap activity, but it is so worth it. These are like multi-chromes, duochromes, a very, very beautiful, colorful palette. Definitely a keep. What is this? I don't know. Oh, Ace Beauté. Yeah, they had this beautiful, beautiful tropical vibes palette. This one I will actually keep. I just really love this color story. And they do have really good quality. I just felt like I should let go of some of these, but this one I will keep for now. Precious Metals by Colourpop, another one that is very much loved and used by me. Like, I primarily love these neutral rose here, something that is not too warm and not already like gray or silver like these two. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful palette. Definitely keep. Oh my god, look at this. Morphe. That's all I have from Morphe? That's crazy. I thought I had more stuff from them. I guess I decluttered a lot. So we have this one, Up Till Dawn, On Till Dawn, whatever this is called. Up Till Dawn. I think this color story is really beautiful. It's really stunning. I want to keep it. I want to keep it for the vibes. And I think the next one I will keep as well. Oh, I think this is from last year's holiday collection. Tease the Season. So it's got to be like burgundies and yeah. Burgundies and browns. This is actually a really decent palette. Have I ever used it? I probably used it once. Looks untouched, but it's really pretty. I'm gonna keep it for now. So yeah, from the last drawer, we are decluttering. Are we decluttering this? I'm not decluttering this. Why is it here? Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm keeping this. I'm only decluttering the two. The e.l.f. Earth and Ocean and Heart Candy. Oh, goodbye, my love. You served me well. Okay, lastly, just for the vibes and for the fun, I am going to show you my 5 Pat McGrath motherships that I am not an idiot to declutter ever. This is my prized possession. I adore them. And let's get into this one first. This is actually one of my favorites. Mothership. Oh my god, I don't know any other names. Like, it's been a hot minute. Mothership 9 Utopian Dreams. Definitely one of my top favorites. Hello. There you go. It's been a while since I used these. What a beautiful, beautiful palette. This is arguably my favorite special shade from Pat McGrath. I love it even though it's a rosy color story. I think these shimmers just do it for me. And it's a very, very, very pretty option. Oh, I miss these. Why did she not come out with one this year? I don't know. She should. All right, let's get into Mothership 1. Subliminal? Yeah, Subliminal. See? Still got it. I just hope she comes out with something like this next year. I really love these every year. This one was so ahead of its times. Cool Tone Dream with a hint of blue and gold. I actually used these shades a lot. You can't really tell, but I truly did, and I still use these. They're on my display because the boxes are so pretty, but I love using them as well. We have Mothership number, is this 5 or 6? It's definitely Bronze Seduction, number 5. This is my favorite Christmas/Thanksgiving palette. I actually didn't use it this Thanksgiving. Maybe I should use it for Christmas then. I did create a fun look with it last holiday season. I just find these greens and reds so pretty. And the browns in here are also very unique, and everything, like this not burgundy, but like aubergine shade is just a cherry on top. What a beautiful palette. If you're looking to buy some beautiful eyeshadow palette for the holidays, highly recommend this one. Bronze Seduction. Really, really good one. All right, we got 2 left. Oh, these are so beautiful. Mothership 3 Subversive. So unique. There's nothing like this in Pat's collection, especially not now. But this one has really beautiful shimmers, multi-chromy, so dimensional. This glitter black is amazing. Oh, in love with this. But probably this one is my favorite still. I'm not really sure. So this is Mothership 10 Moonlit Seduction. This one came out, I want to say in 2021 or 2022. And this one was cool toned, and I love my cool tones. This is so pretty. I don't know, this just does it for me. I know that warm mattes were not really appreciated in this palette, but I honestly almost like don't mind them because of how good these shimmers are, especially this one. And this like brownish gray is also amazing. I don't know, this is just so inspiring to me. And this shimmer too. Oh, love this palette. I love this palette. I just found a little stack of palettes that we forgot to talk about, and I forgot to look through and declutter. Not sure which drawer this came out from, but let's talk about it. Huda Beauty Nude Light. Who remembers these? It's time to declutter this baby, even though I loved this so much. Oh my god, so much. Do I dare? Yes, I do. Decluttering this one. Nomad Air, I honestly haven't used. It's a neutral palette from Nomad. I really like it. I will keep it. And we have this one. It's my Terra Moons singles collection. I bought all of these myself. They're really, really beautiful, stunning, impactful shimmers. And it's a beautiful indie brand. Definitely keeping it. We have the Sigma Beauty Untamed eyeshadow palette. I actually adore this palette from Sigma Beauty, one of my top favorites. I just think this color story is very inspiring. You could go really ethereal with this little quad. You could go green mustardy, warm, or you have a really light and a really dark shade. I will definitely keep it, especially because I don't really have Sigma eyeshadow palettes like on my radar. So in case I want to do like a full face of Sigma, I will definitely use this baby. We have a couple of Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes. Rose Quartz. Oh, before the newest Icy Nude, this was my favorite. Oh my god, this is so stunning still. I love it. Definitely keep such beautiful, unique shades. I don't know why Huda Beauty doesn't want to come out with these big eyeshadow palettes anymore. These were the thing. And it all started, well, I guess it all started with her previous palettes, but for me, the love started with Mercury Retrograde. This palette, when I first saw the commercial for this palette, I was like, there's no way a color story like this exists. Like, in my opinion, this was just like a dream. Most creative, most gorgeous color story. And this was the first palette I bought when I moved to the States because I could. Like, they weren't available in China when I lived there before I moved here. But anyways, used so many times. It is so old, but I'm never, ever getting rid of this. This is a cult favorite and a cult classic. Just like this, honestly. This is my only palette from the old ABH brand that I own. I used to have a couple more, but I did declutter them. For some reason, I don't want to declutter this one. It's too special for me. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I love it too much. So outdated in terms of color story and formulation, but it is ABH. It is history. It is true makeup history, and I absolutely love it. Keep. Okay, hear me out. This is all Natasha Denona that I'm going to do the rankings of and then put away on display and in the first drawer. First drawer is quite empty, which I like the look of it. We just have ABH, Mario, YSL, Dior, Charlotte Tilbury, and some singles here. I did keep the singles here. My singles drawer is overflowing and I didn't want to touch it today. Then we got a bunch of Pat McGrath, Huda Beauty, Too Faced, Kaleidos, Glaminatrix, Patrick Ta, ABH, REM. We got some more colorful options here, all of these palettes. Then we get into more affordable plus stuff that I don't use that is not affordable, and this is the Colourpop and more affordable like elf drawer. I will show you the singles drawer. I just don't have the energy for this today. Maybe by the end of this year, but this is basically Moira, Colourpop, Kofi, what else, KVD, that kind of stuff. And I like these. I reach for them sometimes, so I honestly don't want to declutter much of this, so I'm just gonna keep it for now. But yeah, this is it, and we are going to end it on this note. Don't mind the Natasha Denona palettes. I promise you I'm gonna take care of it once I film my rankings. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. I love you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you. Oh, there's a little mirror. Let me say bye. I will see you in the next one. Bye. I love you. Thank you. This was so silly.